Okay, this is lesson 15.1, and we'll be doing the volume of a cylinder. Starts on page 674 in your math book if you're following along. So we start with the volume of a cylinder. Remember, a cylinder is just a circular prism, so we can really just use the same formula we used before, which was the area of the base, big B, times the height. And we did use this earlier this year for cylinders as well, but just a quick reminder that the volume equals big B, which is the area of the base, times the height. Since we're talking about cylinders here, and a cylinder always has a circle for the base, remember the area of a circle is pi r squared, So really, if we don't want to have to remember that each time, we could put that right into our formula. We could put volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times height. And all we did really is, instead of putting big B for the area of the base, is put the area formula for a circle, because we're just dealing with circles here. So here is the formula we can use for the volume of a cylinder. So here's the first example. They give us a cylinder that is 6 meters tall and has a radius of 3 meters. So I'll do it right over here. And the volume will equal pi, radius is 3, so 3 squared times the height, which is 6. And now I've got pi times 9 times 6. 9 times 6, of course, is 54, so 54 pi. It is volume, so it'll be cubed, and it's meters cubed. So I can write cubic meters. I could have written meters cubed. So either of those when you're looking for these on your quiz. Sometimes they'll give us the volume and we'll have to find something else. For instance, here they are giving us the volume is 314 inches cubed. So we start the same way as before. Volume equals pi r squared times h. And they're giving us the volume. So we'll plug in all the information we know. 314 for the volume equals pi. Now we look over here. We want the radius, but they gave us the diameter. Easily fixed, though, because remember the radius is just half the diameter, so 5. So pi 5 squared times h. Well, here's our unknown, the height. And we'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's simplify this side as much as we can. So we have 314 equals pi 25 h, or 25 pi times h. Well, now I want to get h all by itself, so I'll divide by 25 pi. Now I could have divided by 25 and then divided by pi, but that doesn't make any difference. I might as well divide by both of those at the same time and divide by 25 pi here. These cancel out, and it leaves me with a height of 314 over 25 pi. Now you can't just put pi out here on the side, and you don't slide it up into the numerator. It is down in the denominator, okay? And it's stuck down there for right now because we're going to leave it solved in terms of pi. And there is nothing that will go into 314 and 25 evenly, so we'll leave it just like that, and then we put the units on there. Now we solved for the height, and the height is just in inches. Okay, don't put inches cubed. That would be the volume. We just solved for the height. Okay. Here are a couple for us to do on our own. So number 1, we'll start with our formula. Volume equals pi r squared times height. And we're looking for the volume, so that's nice. So pi, the radius is 4, so 4 squared times the height is 15. We can do the 4 squared to get 16 times 15. And 16 times 15 is 240. So we have 240 pi. And we're talking about the volume. This is feet cubed or cubic feet. Excellent. Number 2, same type of problem, except we're looking for the height. And we have volume equals pi r squared times the height. The volume is 176. Pi is pi. The radius is only 4, so 4 squared times the height. This is 176. And 4 squared is 16, so 16 pi times the height. We'll divide each side by 16 pi. And we're left with height equals, I know at least 2 can go into each of those. Probably more, but we'll start with 2. So when I divide 16 pi by 2, I get 8 pi for my denominator, and 176 divided by 2 is 88. Well, that did make it a little easier. I know I can divide both of those by 8. 8 goes into 88 11 times and into 8 once. So I'm left with 11 over pi is the height. 11 over pi. Don't get confused because it almost looks like 11 over 11 with like a swirly haircut or something, but it's 11 over pi is the height, and it's 11 over pi centimeters. I should have left a little room in there. Centimeters is our height. So that's really all there is to that lesson for 15.1. We had already done the volume of cylinders earlier this year, so it's not too much of a stretch to get to this. And as long as you can write the formula down, they're either going to give you the radius and the height, and you'll be looking for the volume, or they're going to give you the volume and the radius, and you'll be looking for the height. They would be able to, I don't think they did in the homework, but they should be able to give you the volume and the height, and you'd be able to find the radius. As long as they give you everything but one variable, you should be able to solve for that. But for these two problems and for those on your homework, which is page 352 out of your journal, you will just either be solving for the volume, like this, or solving for the height, like this. And, of course, we're leaving our answers in terms of pi. All right, head on over and watch the video for journal page 352. See ya!